That's a knife hand. Like, homeboy got his arm amputated between the 6th and 8th century CE, and he got a knife hand out of it. Knife hand. So it's 1985, and archaeologists are digging in a medieval necropolis in northern Italy, and they're like, oh, there's 222 people here. But one of them, his mid-forearm has been amputated. So homeboy, TUS-380, but that's a lot, so we're going to call him Paul, was from between the 6th and 8th century CE, and it was discovered that his mid-forearm was amputated, okay? There was a D-shaped buckle, and then the remains of some sort of organic material, presumed to be leather, and then the big old iron thing, the knife blade. Before anyone asks, we don't know why exactly part of George's arm was amputated. However, the remains do suggest that it was done through blunt force. Again, the how and why, no idea. Could have been anything from a surgical procedure to some sort of punishment to homeboy got in a fight and had to lose part of his arm. We don't know on that front. However, the bones do tell us a pretty interesting story about his life afterwards. Now, you might be thinking that our homeboy John here is from the 6th to 8th century CE. He might not have lived that long after his amputation. However, the remains tell us a pretty interesting story in that he healed up pretty nicely afterwards, to the point that he might have lived with said amputation for quite a while, long enough for his body to adapt to having the prosthetic. Additionally, there was extreme wear found on our boy Ringo's teeth, to the point that on the right side of his mouth, the pulp cavities were exposed in his teeth. Now, researchers looking at this, they're like, hey, homeboy was possibly living with this for years, to the point that it was showing on his skeleton how often he was using his knife arm. Like, he's biting down possibly on the leather to tighten it around his amputated arm so he can use his knife hand. The knife was made of iron, and if you can't tell, this is not a common find in archaeology. So it is just so freaking cool to know that someone 1,200, 1,400 years ago said, I know that I lost part of my arm, but I'm still going to adapt with a knife instead.